I'm gonna put your first up.
Huh? Yeah, that's fine. Hi, my name is Tara Lehner.
Hi, my name is Conrad Heimer.
We will be presenting a scene from Shakespeare's Othello.
Our troupe number is 4634. O balmy breath that dost almost persuade justice to break her sword. One more and miss the last. So sweet was never so fate. It strikes where it doth love. She winks.
Who's there? Othello?
Aye, Desdemona.
Will you come to bed, my lord?
Have you prayed tonight, Desdemona?
Aye, my lord.
If you bethink yourself of any crime unreconciled as yet to heaven and grace, solicit for it straight.
Alack, my lord, what may you mean by that?
Well, do it and be brief. How to walk by? I would not kill thy unprepared spirit. Nor heaven forfend I would not kill thy soul.
Talk you, Philly?
Aye, I do.
Then heaven have mercy on me.
Amen, with all my heart.
If you say so, I hope you will not kill me. Yet I fear you, for you're fatal then when your eyes roll so. Why I should fear I know not, since guiltiness I know not. But yet I feel I fear.
Think on thy sins.
They are loves I bear to you.
Aye, for that thou diest.
That death's unnatural that kills for loving. Alas, why gnaw you so your nether lip? Some bloody passion shakes your very frame. These are portents, but yet I hope they do not point on me.
Peace and be still.
I will so. What's the matter?
That handkerchief which I so loved and gave you, thou gavest to Cassie.
No, by my life and soul. Send for the man and ask him.
Sweet soul, take heed. Take heed to perjury, thou art on thy deathbed.
Aye, but not yet to die.
Yes, presently. Therefore confess thee freely of thy sin. For to deny each article with oath cannot remove nor choke the strong conception that I do groan withal. Thou art to die.
Then, Lord, have mercy on me.
I say amen.
And have you mercy too? I never did offend you in my life. I never loved Cassio, but with such general warranty of heaven as I might love. I never gave him token.
By heavens, I saw the handkerchief in his hands. O perjured woman, you dost stone my heart and makest me call what I intend to do a murder, which I thought a sacrifice. I saw the handkerchief.
He found it then. I never gave it him. Send for him hither. Let him confess the truth.
He hath confessed.
What, my lord?
He has used thee.
How? Unlawfully?
Aye.
He will not say so.
No. His mouth is stopped. Honest Diablo had taken it away from him.
Oh, my fear interprets. What, is he dead?
If all his hairs had been lives, my great revenge had stomach for it all.
Alas, he is betrayed and I undone.
How, strumpet? Weepest thou for him to my face?
Oh, banish me, my lord, but kill me not.
How down, strumpet?
Kill me tomorrow, let me live tonight.
Nay, if you strive.
But half an hour.
Being done, there is no fault.
But while I say one prayer.
It is too late. Thank you.
That's a scene from the other
Dominique Williams.
And I'm Tina Day Oyelowo.
And we'll be performing a scene from the play Raising the Sun.
Our troop number is 4634. Mama, what are you going to do with it?
Well, it's too early in the morning to talk about it. It ain't Christian.
It's just Walter's got his heart set on that store.
You mean that liquor store Willie Harris wants him to invest in?
Yes.
I told you. We ain't business people. We just plain over.
Ain't nobody business people till they start going into business. Walter Lee said colored people ain't never going to get ahead in life till they start gambling on different things of this world. Investments and things.
Walter Lee done finally told you on investment.
No. Something's happening between Walter and me. I don't know what it is, but there's something I can't give him no more. He needs this chance, Lena.
What, liquor, honey?
Well, Walter said, I expect people always going to be drinking liquor.
Well, whether they drink it or not ain't none of my business. But whether I go into business selling it to them is, and I don't want that on my legislative life. Ruth, Uncle, what is it?
I'm tired.
It looks like you better stay home from lunch today.
I can't. She be calling up the agency saying, my girl didn't come in. Send me somebody. My girl didn't come in. Oh, she have a fit.
Well, you just let her have it. Besides, you got a great big old check coming in the mail tomorrow. $10,000.
Sure is wonderful.
$10,000.
You know what you should do with it, Miss Lena? You should take yourself a trip somewhere. To Europe or South Africa or someplace. I'm serious. Forget about the family for once in your life and have yourself a ball.
Well, you sound like I'm just about ready to die. And besides, who'll go with me? What would I look like traveling around Europe all by myself?
Shoot. These here rich white women do it all the time. They don't think nothing about packing up their suitcases and piling on one of them big steamships and swoosh. They gone, child.
Well, something always told me I wasn't a rich white woman.
Well, what you gonna do with it then?
I ain't rightly decided. I was thinking maybe we could meet the Notre little two-story somewhere. Fenced in yard with Travis and play in the summertime.
Lord knows we're putting enough money in this rat trap to pay for 4 houses by now.
Rat trap. Yes, I suppose that's all it is. I can remember just as clear the day me and Big Walter moved in here. We hadn't been married for 2 weeks, and we're planning on living here for more than a year. We were going to set away and buy a place out there on Morgan Park. I look at it and it looks right dumpy today, but you should have known the dreams I had about buying that house and fixing it up. And none of it come true.
Well, life can be a barrel of disappointment sometimes.
Big Walter used to come in here some nights and he'd sit right on the sofa and just look at it. And I knew he was down. And when I lost that baby, I thought I was going to lose Big Walter too. I guess that's why he finally worked himself to death. Like he was fighting his own war against this world that took his baby. He used to say to me sometimes, he used to get right wet in the eyes. He used to lean his head back with the water still standing in the I guess the Lord didn't see fit to give the black man up their dreams. But he did give the children to make their dreams so much. You could talk like that, don't you know?
Thank you.
Oh, now he is. Hey.
Oh, look at there.
And 2 CDs. Yeah. She had 2 CDs of these mics.
My God, I want to see Buffy's mama. I'm gonna kill her. What?
She's filming it. He's
From rags to riches with a bit of a twist. The main characters are Eliza Doolittle, who turns from a flower girl to a classy lady of society, and Professor Higgins. He is a brilliant, grouchy, middle-aged bachelor who is England's leading geneticist. They meet, and a bet is placed between Higgins and Pickering, another character, on whether or not Eliza can change into a duchess. This proves to be a bit of a task at first, but in the end, it proves that anybody can turn into anything with a little help. There are 6 outfits that show Eliza's transformation from flower girl to duchess. I have chosen to design her first 5 outfits, and I have set this period in the Edwardian period. Her first outfit is during Act 1, Scene 1 at Covent Garden. This is the first time we see her as an unkept, uneducated flower girl. I have chosen to place her in dark colors so that she blends in with her background because she's there the whole scene, but we don't realize she's there until somebody says, "Ooh, that man's taking your name, everything you say down." So that's when she steps forward and kind of gets a little mean with him. That's the first time they meet. I chose to do layering that was messy and cut because she is very poor and would just be finding whatever warmth clothes she had around at the time. I've chosen to place violets around her hat because that is her way of life. That's how she makes her living, so it symbolizes her thing. Fabrics would be wool because it is winter, it'd be kind of cold, and they'd be distressed because it is dirty. She is poor, and I found colors that matched with a stripe pattern with the shirt, a grayness for the skirt, and green to be around the neck or around her body, just to cover up and be extra warmth for her hands. She would wear mittens that would be kind of torn off. They would be wool. Her second outfit is in Act 1, Scene 5, Rain in Spain, and she has been taken on by Higgins as a student by now. And she is dressed by the housekeeper. They take her clothes, get rid of it, and she brings back new clothes for her. And they bring back a simple brown skirt, simple green top with a little bit of lace to show feminine. The skirt would be wool, and the shirt would be a linen to show the material, but this would just be a simple outfit. Her hair would be pulled back. She's being dressed by other people. She doesn't know what's going on. She's being told what to do in this scene. The next outfit is Ascot, which is Act 1, Scene 6, and this was picked out specially by Higgins. He does say that he does not want any flowery patterns or any of that mess on her dress because he does not like that. So I chose to do a solid white sleeves and with a stripe down the front with a frillies kind of bottom to it. This would be made out of silk and it would be tight fitting, and the colors would be white and black and with a little bit of purple in her hat because they would have big hats. It's all about the hats, it's all about the flowers that are in it and the designs for this scene. Her next outfit is her most glamorous one, and this is when she's preparing to go to the embassy ball, and this is where they'll find out whether or not their bet works. I chose to put her in a gown of gold with beaded designs. The high waist and gloves are period to the time period, and the band of silver material at the bottom will give her the standout. Everybody will see her. It also contrasts against the gold, and it will make her seem like she's the one that everybody's supposed to be looking at because she's new. And I chose to put a little bit more design into it with the sparkles because they do not want everybody to know that she is actually a flower girl. They want to pass her off as a duchess. And I found fabrics that a crisscross pattern for down the front that you could lay over a white silk that would give the idea, and then a gold I found as the colors. The last outfit I chose to design is the next morning outfit after Higgins and her have a fight and she leaves. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be real early, so she'd be going out in a morning suit. She's taking her bags, she's leaving the house. And I chose to do her in a light violet to lavender because she is returning to Covent Garden, and she sings the song Show Me in this outfit, but she returns to Covent Garden and nobody knows her there. She tries to go back to her old friends and nobody knows her, and the purple symbolizes that she's going back to her background, yet even with all the purple and even with the violets, she can't go back home because she has to move on in society. I also put purple flowers in her hat, just like in the opening scene, to tie those together from the beginning at Covent Garden to the end at Covent Garden. Her outfits, they all have a hint of purple in them. The 3 that she does not aren't specifically picked out by Higgins because that was my command image throughout the whole thing with the violets, and I did try to stay consistent with putting a little bit of purple somewhere on her to show her that she never loses her past even though she has to move on and keep going, she can never lose her past with that. I do have a morgue showing period costumes, and I also have my sketches as I went through and changed. I had a little bit of trouble with the ascot dress, and I did tons of different patterns with it, but I stayed with the stripes down the front going around her, and it just worked better because it was simple, yet she stood out with that pattern.
Hey everyone, start hopping like bunnies, please. Everyone, hop like bunnies.
I need everybody over here.
There you go. Attack, bunnies. Attack each other. Disperse immediately, guys. Run away. Hop. Keep hopping. Keep hopping, Chris.
Not a whole bunch of, we're not here to tear down anybody's work or anything like that, and I do appreciate you. Go ahead, tell me about yourself.
About myself?
Yes.
Well, I'm Joy Miller. Yesterday was my birthday. I just turned 18. I wrote this play as an assignment for a class, and it just kind of came to me all at once. I just wrote the whole thing, and it has a lot of autobiographical influence and
No, just general.
about the play.
Yeah, about the play.
Okay, well, the way I see it, it's kind of like the most important thing that, as human beings, that we can do for each other is just to kind of like reach out to each other. And so that's what the play is about. It's about connecting with someone else, even if it's not someone that you normally connect with. How important it is. How we never really realize how important it is. So that's.
Well, let me just run through the comments that I had. I thought the dialogue was very, very believable, particularly when Alyssa and Adam are talking. They're actually having a conversation. And I thought that it was very, very economical. A lot of times we have a tendency to put in a lot of filler. I know I do, but basically, after you've written whatever draft, you end up cutting out things that really don't necessarily fit. Very believable dialogue, especially when they're talking. Good exhaustion of possibilities within the limited space, because you're actually, it's going to be, I'm assuming you're going to play this in a space that is proportionate. So within that small of a space, what can you do? But guess what? Very, very good plays have been written in a claustrophobic space, as well as many films. Short films, small films, not small, especially small. But many films have been shot within that small space. What do you do? There's so many things. Whether it's use of the phone, clothing exchange, of course, ladder coming down from the ceiling, smoke machine, things like that. Good use of that limited space. Okay. Now, as far as comments, let's see. Overall, I felt this was a very interesting piece. I need to improve my penmanship because I can't see what I wrote. Okay, very interesting piece. I do believe, however, that my only comment was the quickness of the transition.
Right.
Okay, you've gotten that comment before? Yeah, the quickness of the transition. You know, let me ask you a question. Now, this is just, do people ever change? So about six people said, should I answer this? Do I want to look goofy or what? Do people really change?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we do change, why do we change? Or does a character really change? Why does a character change? If a character changes? Tell me, anybody. This is
Mature outside influences.
outside influences, reactions of another character, inside influences, something happens. There might be a change of conscience. Yes. Oh, he's just stretching back there. Yeah, having an epiphany, very, very good. I'm a history buff. I love history. The History Channel, oh, love it, all right? My wife calls it the Death Channel, all right? Because there's nothing but death and war and stuff. Why are you watching that stuff? I said, well, it's history, it's history. And the funny thing about it is that politically, I'm not exactly much of what they do, but anyway. So I watch the History Channel. It's just amazing. Even in the case of the grand tragedies of history, it's amazing how many people changed, like in the case of World War II, how many of them changed to the German nationals, as opposed to some of the characters that did not change, and why did they not change? But anyway, the point is, why do people change? There has to be a reason. You've got to see that, other than the fact of proximity. Although proximity can factor in occasionally. All right. Transition. Happening too fast. There isn't a lot provided to show the transition in Alyssa. Does Adam help her in any way? That's an interesting question. Does Adam help her anyway? Does she have an effect on Adam? I'm not sure of the significance or even the necessity of the narrator. Okay, of the narrator. And my suggestion, this is just my suggestion, you can draw it out if you don't want to. You might consider cutting the narrator out and giving Alyssa shortened versions of the pieces. For example, just because you're in a small space, either of them can step out of the space, see? Because, I mean, the stage is fluid, especially if it's just suggested, hey, either one can stop and just step out or step down to the audience or whatever. The boys next door, they're stepping out and just talking directly, nothing wrong with that. Okay, like to see Alyssa and Adam interact even more. I had a question regarding heroin. Okay, heroin. All right, don't have a problem with the use of drugs on stage. But my question, wait a minute, don't interpret it like that. Okay, okay, the depiction of it, that's not the issue. My question though is, in terms of maybe a little research on the effects of heroin. Does anybody here know? Okay, I'm not a cop. All right. Anybody know any heroin users? I'm serious. All right. What is the general effect when somebody is on?
Lethargy.
Right? And what is the effect when they don't have what they need?
Ooh, great. Thinking about it.
Yeah. So the question is, Adam, if he is a user and if he's actually that hooked, then you see that's going to present sort of a problem. While under the influence, users are mellowed. While off, they're not too nice. Perhaps Adam, you might want to find another drug.
Right.
Yeah. Or the drug it could just be a strange guy, or let's say an alcoholic. Anything. It's just that for some reason the heroin, in my opinion, just doesn't quite fit. Anything that allows him to be the kind of intellectual that he is and caring. I mean, this is a nice guy. I mean, this is a really nice guy. The audience wants to like you, or at least empathize with him, right? Let's see. Note on Alyssa's last name, and I'm sure this is purely accidental. What's her last name?
Muscatello.
Muscatello. Anybody know what Muscatello is?
It's a wine.
It's a wine.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a wine.
Cheap
Cheap wine. It's a wino. I knew it as a wino's wine. Okay. Muscatello's a wino's wine. So that's purely coincidental, but some people in the audience might like that Muscatello. Okay. Yeah. It's a cheap wine used primarily, well, I said poor urban settings. I mean, you find it everywhere, but I grew up knowing it as a wino's wine. Wino's wine, you big thing.
A bottle of wine, Muscatel.
Yeah, Muscatel, yeah. Overall, very nice work. Again, try to explore that transition better. I have a question. This is purely superficial. Okay, it's purely superficial, but it kind of goes back to what kind of drug is he on. We know about his situation with his ex-wife, and if this is an upscale building, how readily is he going to be able to move in and out of that apartment building? You see, if this really is an upscale situation that they're referring to, at least the ones I've grown up seeing and couldn't get into when I was growing up, but they were part of that. They're doormen, gates, things like that. Or even if somebody was an ex-wife or ex-husband, they were screened. It's just a little technical thing, all right? But overall, I thought it was very nice work, and again, try to explore the relationship and that transition better. And that's basically it. Okay. Now, this is a general note. I don't have enough to go around for everybody, but just for you. I'd like you to take one copy of, well, somebody's bag is there.
That's mine.
Oh, okay. Take one, could you?
Sure.
Move your bag. All right. Take one copy of these articles, and you could actually, Mr. Hughes will probably can,
I can copy them.
yeah, break copyright law, and as I have done. So if I go to jail, you go to jail too.
That's fine.
But break copyright, and some of that stuff is useful. It's from the Dramatist Guild, some of it's from Writer's Digest, some of it's the stuff I found. If you find it helpful, use it. If not, just toss it in the trash, your choice. But the main thing is pass it on to somebody, because once you set up... Okay. Hi! Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a senior at Harrison. You want to know how to play? Or...
Well, tell me a brief biographical thing, you know, just general stuff.
Well, I just I've only been in theater 4 years. I got to high school and I started doing theater at Harrison, which is a performing arts school, and been pretty blessed my junior and senior year with leads. Just got finished doing Pirates of Penzance, and I was further doing Much Ado in March, Benedict, and well, this is what I want to do with my life.
Now, tell me about the play.
Well, it's kind of from personal experiences and personal relationships with other people that I've experienced, and some of the dialogue is from conversations I would sort of remember in the past, and have tried to turn it into a play. It's about people in general try to run away from their problems instead of dealing with them, and occasionally they run to drugs and alcohol, other things that aren't good for them. And it's about understanding that, trying to fix it.
Okay. Well, let me just go ahead with my comments very quickly. Unattained simplicity, all right? I thought it was very believable dialogue of, now, please don't laugh at this term, okay? I'm 39 years old, I'm about to be 40, so I might use some terms that seem to be archaic to you. Stoner, do they still say that? I don't know, okay? I'm up in Tallahassee, right? You know, we can't even count up there, so, you know. So, but anyway, but I'm up in Tallahassee, so, but basically the stoner lifestyle, or things that I've seen or been through, whatever, and I do believe the audience was allowed to share that spiral of self-destruction. It's one thing to show somebody going down. It's another thing to be dragged down into it, you know. Okay, reference points. I can't even think. What is the name of that film? That's one. I was thinking of one where it's two undercover cops, basically, and they're dealing with drugs.
In Too Deep?
Yeah, and they're dragged down.
Cool J. Yeah.
But I mean, there are many things, plays as well as films, where you're actually taking the audience with you, and there's nothing you can do. It's sort of like a slow slide, right? Self-destruction. The basic structure, I believe, of the play was very sound. The reluctant vanguard who seeks solace in different kinds of lifestyles and/or relationships. Right? I thought that was very, very interesting. In terms of comments, and once again, you can accept these or toss them out, or modify them, whatever. Non-monologue sequences were very good. In other words, when I like dialogue, okay, monologues are fine, they're fun, whatever. I just like to see people interact. That's my own personal bias. I do believe the monologues themselves were a bit long, and they didn't necessarily add much to the story. In other words, if you tell it and not show it, you know, you show it, you don't tell. And it's not necessarily helpful to me to have a description of either something that's happening off stage or something that's about to happen, and then you have it. It becomes sort of apparent. Although the introspective passages are actually very good for fiction. Don't tell, if you meet my wife today, she's floating around here somewhere, do not tell her I said this. All right? I'm going to hold you responsible now. Don't tell her I said this. All right? My wife is a pharmacist who is basically tired of pharmacy, and she just started writing. And she wrote a novel. It started out as a romance novel, but it then turned into what you, I guess, call literary fiction. And she's typing it. And that man I lost whole lot of money. They had to buy her a computer, second hand. She didn't want to give her money. But anyway, the thing is gave to her for Christmas. But the point is, she started writing. And so the thing is, for fiction, those long passages were excellent in terms of something that I would read. On stage, it might kind of start tapping. It might be a bit long. Let's see. Remember, any dialogue should move the story forward and or reveal character. The monologues often parallel what the audience eventually sees. I just said that. And for me personally, I had seemed to learn more about Justin through his actions, not his words. Also, I would love to have seen certain events depicted in the monologues actually acted out. I mean, in a little bit more detail.
Which one?
Yeah, this one. I'm trying to think. More detail. Okay. Page 18 is one of them. One of the most horrible tasting things in the
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I took a bite out of one. It was a struggle not to puke it out, but Max was the whole mushroom sequence. Those mushrooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was harrowing to me because I used to work at a boot camp, and I had I wasn't one of the boot camp. I was just an academic instructor, and I had a student who was a scientist. He was a real scientist on. I don't want to get beat up or sued by you. Can I say this?
I suppose so.
Oh, okay. I've been saying this among impressionable minds. But this guy was just telling me, the kid was telling me about all these different the mushrooms, about the different, and he knew the difference between whatever the destroying angels and the amanitas and whatever and all the beefsteak, which ones you could eat and which ones you couldn't. And to me, it's harrowing because I'm scared of mushrooms anyway. I had fear of them growing up. Cactuses, cacti, and mushrooms. I was scared of cactuses, cacti because of the Bugs Bunny Road Runner cartoons. Seriously, and I didn't grow up around them. I'm from New York. And mushrooms, I was always afraid of them, as if they're going to jump up and jump in my mouth or something. And then in 1990, whatever it was, 1997, there was a kid in the Tampa Bay area who said, "Hey man, it's cool, I'm eating mushroom, right?" They melted his liver, literally turned it into goo, and he eventually lived. He got a liver transplant, but it was dangerous. And so that scene right there, the natural tension that's going to be created by that, I'd love to have seen that acted out, rather than just, hey, I got sick and I puked or whatever. But that whole thing, partially comical, but also horrifying. Right? Just that whole experience. I mean, how would you depict someone who's tripping on stage, not just through behavior? I mean, opportunities for lights. I mean, opportunities for many things that go on there. If it's not film, it's not special effect. But the point is, there's so many opportunities. I would have loved to have seen that. That's more interesting. Acted out. Let's see, technical note. This is purely technical for the script itself. You repeat pages 11 through 25. At least in my copy, it goes through page 20-something, 25, 20, and then it just repeats again.
Sorry, I had it made for me.
That's Kinko's fault, right?
Yeah, that's all. It's purely technical. I thought it might have been an addendum, but then I noticed it was exactly the same. But I thought it was very, very nice and very good. And I'd like to see, once again, more of it on stage rather than in the monologues. Are you going to produce this at any time?
They submit these, all of them. This is just 3 of 14 students. They submit their plays for final production at the end of the year, and they produce them themselves.
Okay.
That's their final.
Then, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, my name is Thomas Wilson, and from Tallahassee, Florida. Tell me about yourself.
I'm a junior, and I play soccer and public community theater. I was born in New Jersey. Morristown.
Yeah, I used to go there a lot.
I don't know what else to say. I have 2 brothers. I play the piano.
Okay. Tell me about your play.
It's about a teenage boy who has trouble handling his problems, and his family hasn't handled the problem. They just kept silent about it, and to handle it, he just throws up all the time. And he has a little sister, Sophie, who's a genius, but still a scared little girl, and a crazy friend, Joe, who is just laid back and doesn't care about anything.
Okay. Now, let's see. Stage ability. Let me just go straight to it because I know we're on a time limit. areas of success. Stage ability, I thought it was very well thought out and very producible. Okay, to me, it's producible. Obviously, no real major problems with it. Characters, I thought the plots and the main character, and I thought the mother was very, very interesting, particularly when given as an added dimension. I believe the plot flowed logically from the given premise. Now, my next comments are not negatives; they're just questions in general. Now, did you intend this as comedy, drama, or blended?
I usually always write comedy, and that's all I write. So it started off with comedy, and then I decided, why don't I try drama, and then it turned into both. So.
Yeah. Well, your approach is fine. You know, just be careful of basically how you prime your audience, because sometimes, you know, if you set them up to expect something that's funny, it's kind of this is a drama, and then if you set up drama, then they're going, where's this going?
Yeah.
This is funny. You know, it's kind of like the Producers. You ever see that? It's an old Mel Brooks film. They set out, if you're not familiar with the Producers, they set off, a producer sets off, gets this idea basically to create a Broadway show that's so bad that audiences would hate it. And so the idea is to take all this money from investors and promise them big returns so that when the play flops, they get to pocket all the money. Problem is, they create this musical about Nazi Germany, and they put in this. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it turns out to actually be a hit. And so the thing is, in our lives, you might not want to. You know, if you're going to do one or the other or blend of the two, that's fine. But just be careful how you prime your audience. But even these things fit in when. Okay, let me back up a bit. Vomit is funny. Maybe not when you're doing it, but it's funny, okay? Exorcist came out, everybody said, oh, the poor little girl. I remember when it first came out, everybody said, oh, the poor little girl going through all that, right? And then Monty Python's Meaning of Life comes out a few years later. And it's like the funniest thing in the world to me, or at least to a certain segment of the population. So as a general rule, vomit in most cases is funny. On the other hand, wife and spouse abuse aren't. There's not too many ways you can joke about that. But even these will fit in when juxtaposed against the family's absurdity. Perhaps you might want to see Aaron's puking through another character's eyes, you know, show or tell. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, just sort of a decision you have to make as to how this will actually fit in. Sophie, this little girl, right? Sophie's intelligence and sophistication actually is very interesting, but somehow it's a little distracting to me. She can be precocious, but at the same time, it's like she suddenly devolves. You know, it's like, you can have that paradox, that contradiction is there, because that's, to me, what makes characters interesting. Not, hi, I'm a bad person, ha ha, I am virtuous, like that. No, but contradiction. You know, we're all a bundle of contradictions, all right? You know, how many bad people do we have here? Come on, everybody, raise your hand, you're bad, okay? How many good people do we have here? Okay, it's called being human, and that's what makes humanity, and especially characters, interesting. Contradiction at the same time is a little too sudden, just to me, just to completely.
So something more to lead into that or something?
Either that, or maybe we can see these traits present at all times. You see, the little girl who understands a little too much, but at the same time doesn't quite understand some things. But, NPR, they were talking about the power crisis, and an 11-year-old girl, young lady, calls up and asks a question about, well, I lived in Mexico for X amount of years, whatever, and with my parents, my dad works there, and the power used to go off all the time. I don't see what the big deal is. And so the host, Juan Williams, asked the question. He said, well, you do understand that the United States is a little bit more developed economically, and we also have so many other things that need to be done, like hospitals. Okay, do you think that's a factor there? Do you think that really matters? That the United States is more developed than Mexico was? And she didn't understand it. And that's fine, because that is the nature of
a little more where she also doesn't understand some things earlier in the play.
Yeah, you know, but if she knows everything all of a sudden, then all of a sudden, when she can't quite place her finger on something, it's kind of disingenuous to me. Let's see, very good work. I believe with minor tweaking, it should be very reducible. I do appreciate you writing. You already know about the articles. Advice I have to anybody here, use common sense with anything you do. Listen to your teachers. But whatever you do, don't talk yourself out of doing anything. If it doesn't hurt anybody, if it's not illegal, I'm serious. You want to go for it, go for it.
I will be portraying the character of Emma.
I will be portraying the character of Lucy, and we are troop number 4634.
I sit and watch the rain and see my tears roll down the window pane. I sit and watch the sky and I can hear it heave a sigh. I think of him, how we were, and when I think of him, then I remember. In his eyes I can see where my heart longs to be. In his eyes I see a gentle glow, and that's where I'll be safe, I know. Safe in his arms, close to his heart. But I don't know what where to start. By looking in his eyes, will I see beyond tomorrow? By looking in his eyes, will I see beyond the sorrow that I feel? Will his eyes reveal to me promises or lies? But he can't conceal from me the love in his eyes. They're like an open book. His eyes. I know their every look. His eyes. But most of all, the look that hypnotized me. If I'm wise, I will walk away and gladly. But sadly, I'm not wise. It's hard to talk away the memories that you prize. Love is worth forgiving for. Now I realize everything worth living for is there in his eyes. Love is worth forgiving for. Now I realize everything worth living for is there in his eyes.
Hi. Excuse me just a minute. Do we have going on? Again, I'm Matthew Berry.
And I'm Daniel Ballard, and we will be presenting a musical piece entitled Agony from Into the Woods.
From Troup 4634. Take a breath, guys.
Ah! There you are, good brother. Father and I had wondered where you had gone.
I've been looking all night for her.
Her?
Yes, the lovely one I danced the evening with.
Where did she go?
I disappeared like the fine morning mist.
She was lovely. The loveliest. I am not certain of that. I too must confess to have found a lovely maiden. She lives here in the woods.
The woods?
Yes, in the top of a tall tower that has no doors or stairs.
Where?
2 leagues due east from here, just beyond the mossy knoll.
And how do you manage a visit?
I stand beneath her tower. I stand beneath her tower and yell to her, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw down your hair And then she lowers the longest, most beautiful hair, yellow as corn, and I climb to her.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, what kind of a name is that? You jest, I have never heard of such a thing.
I speak the truth. She is as true as your maiden. A maiden running from a prince. None would run from us.
Yet, one had.
Did I abuse her or show her disdain? Why does she run from me? If I should lose her, how shall I regain the heart she has won from me? Agony beyond power of speech, when the one thing you want is the only thing out of your reach. High in her tower she sits by the hour, maintaining her hair. Life had becoming and frequently humming a light-hearted air. Agony far more painful than yours. When you know she would go with you, if there only were doors. Agony, all the torture they teach. What's as intriguing or half so fatiguing as what's out of reach? Am I not sensitive, clever, well-mannered, considerate, passionate, charming, as kind as I'm handsome, and dare to approach? You are everything maidens could wish for, and why no? Do I know the girl must be mad? You know nothing of madness till you're climbing her, and you see as you're nearing her, all the while hearing her agony is real, although it's different for each. Always 10 steps behind, always 10 feet below, and she's just out of reach. Agony that can cut like a knife. I must have her to
Hi, my name is Jared Horner. I will be playing Tom.
My name is Tina Jones. I will be portraying the character of Amanda Wingfield.
And we will be performing a scene from The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. Our troupe number is 4634.
Tom, I sent out your sister today so that I could discuss something with you. If you hadn't spoken, I would have spoken to you.
What is it, Mother, that you wanted to discuss?
Laura.
Oh. Laura.
You know how she is. So quiet, but still waters run deep. She notices things, and I think she broods about them. A few days ago, I came in and she was crying.
About what?
You.
Me?
She has an idea that you're not happy here.
Oh, well, whatever gave her that idea?
What gives her any idea? However, you do act strangely. I'm not criticizing. Understand that. I know your ambitions do not lie in the warehouse. And like everyone else in the whole wide world, you've had to make sacrifices. But Tom, life's not easy. It calls for Spartan endurance. There is so much in my heart that I cannot describe to you. I never told you, but I loved your father.
I know that, Mother.
And you, when I see you taking after his ways, staying out late, and, well, you had been drinking that night you were in that terrifying condition. Laura says you hate the apartment, and that you go out nights to get away from it. Is that true, Tom?
No. Okay, you say there's so much in your heart that you cannot describe to me. Well, the same is true of me. There's so much in my heart that I cannot describe to you. So, let's just respect each other's...
But why, Tom? Why are you so restless? Where do you go 2 nights?
I go to the movies.
Why do you go to the movies so much, Tom?
I go to the movies because I like adventure. Adventure is not something I have much of at work, so I go to the movies.
But you go to the movies entirely too much.
I like a lot of adventure.
Most young men find adventure in their careers.
Well, then most young men are not employed in a warehouse.
The world is full of young men employed in warehouses, offices, and factories.
And do all of them find adventure in their careers, Mother?
Well, they do or they do without it. Not everyone has a craze for adventure.
Man is by instinct a lover, a hunter, and a fighter. And none of those instincts are given much play.
Man is by instinct? Don't quote instinct to me. Instinct is something that people have got away from. It belongs to animals. Christian adults don't want it.
Oh. Well, what do Christian adults want, Mother?
Superior things. Things of the mind and spirit. Why only animals have to satisfy instincts? Surely your aims are somewhat higher than theirs. Than monkeys and pigs.
I reckon they're not.
You're joking. However, that isn't what I wanted to discuss.
I haven't the time.
Sit down.
Do you want me to punch in red at the warehouse?
Tom, I haven't said what I had in mind to ask you.
I'm too late, Mother.
Where's your muffler? Put your muffler on. Down at the warehouse, aren't there some nice young men?
No.
There must be some.
Mother.
Find one that's clean living, doesn't drink, and ask about for sister.
What?
For sister, to meet, get acquainted.
Oh my gosh.
Will you? Will you? Will you, dear?
Yes.
Thank you.
Darn it up.
Without you. Gee, it's no fun. It's alright. It's alright. Drinking beer in the backseat. All those
Where's she going now?
just ain't too neat.
Let's do it.
Make sure you get that on tape.
Okay, you guys are on now.
You know the guys who did, people who did
Tara, you have to say something, because you're on. I can't see you clearly, though.
It's not focused.
Oh, yeah, there's up-close picture of Tara right there. Woo, woo!
Hello, we are Balaban Company. We will be presenting a song entitled Alone at the Drive-In from Greece. We are from Troup 4634. I'm all alone.
my name is Tina de Oyelolo, and this is Oyelolo and Company. We will be presenting a song from the musical Cabaret, and it's entitled Don't Tell Mama. We are Troup 4634.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Kit Kat Club is proud to present the Toast und Mayfair, Fräulein Sally Bowles.
Mama thinks I'm living in a convent, a secluded little convent in the southern part of France. Mama doesn't even have an inkling that I'm working in a nightclub, in a pair of lacy pants. So please, sir, if you run into my mama, don't reveal my indiscretion. Give a working girl a chance. Hush up, don't tell mama, shush up. Don't tell mama, don't tell mama, whatever you do. If you had a secret, you bet I could keep it. I would never tell on you. I'm breaking every promise that I gave her. So won't you kindly do a girl a great big favor and please, my sweet potato, keep this from the mater, though my dance is not against the law. You can tell my papa that's alright, 'cause he comes in here every night, but don't tell mama what you saw. Mama thinks I'm on a tour of Europe with a couple of my school chums and a lady chaperone. Mama doesn't even have an inkling that I left him on Antwerp and I'm touring on my own. So please, sir, if you run into my mama, don't forget my indiscretion. Just leave well enough alone. Hush up, don't tell mama. Shush up, don't tell mama. Don't tell mama, whatever you do. If you had a secret, you bet I could keep it. I would never tell on you. You wouldn't want to get me in a pickle and have her go and cut me off without a nickel. So let's trust one another. Keep this from my mother, though I'm still as pure as mountain snow. You can tell my uncle here and now, 'cause he's my agent anyhow. But don't tell mama what you know. You can tell my grandma, Susan cried just yesterday, she joined mine. But don't tell mama what you know. You can tell my brother that ain't grapes and me squeals on me, I'll spoil on him. But don't tell mama, bitte, don't tell mama, please sir, don't tell mama what you know. Shh. If you see my mommy, mom's the word.